People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that were successful loved what they did so they could persevere, when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. So you got to love it. You got to have passion.
Some businesses have always been in for pure information businesses. I mean, what's a bank? It has information about who to take credit risks on and who has what money and moving that around. And so those industries, financial industries, things like reservations, industries that want to be very customer oriented, have been the first to really adopt the technology and have it change their business rather than just help them print out documents or do spreadsheets.
My dad always say, son, this is mine.
I didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up with anything. I basically did it all myself. I didn't have money to go to acting school. So I never went to acting school. I just studied films and started making movies. And I learned on movie sets. I'm up 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm there before the crew gets there. I really enjoy working hard. I work 7 days a week. I don't, being on a movie set is a holiday for me. I rarely take vacations. Life is it's about learning new things. It's about challenging yourself. It's about always never just sitting back and taking anything for granted and enjoying life.
You have to really believe in what you're
a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. When I have to face my problems, I show up in the back of a limo wearing a $2,000 suit and a $40,000 gold fucking watch. So you listen to me and you listen well. Are you behind on your credit card bills? Good, pick up the phone and start dialing. Is your landlord ready to evict you? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Does your girlfriend think you're a fucking worthless loser? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
साहस और हिम्मत जिंदगी में बहुत जरूरी होती है. Nobody has ever achieved anything big in business or in any walk of life without courage. Of course, whenever you do anything big, you do feel a little scared. But You've got to conquer fear to discover the hidden hero within you. With courage, with self-belief, and the can-do spirit, you overcome any adversity. साहस एक ऐसी ताकत है जिससे डर को भी डर लगता है.
Everybody has a turn back moment. You have a moment where you can go forward or you can give up. But the thing you have to keep in mind before you give up is that if you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen.
Nothing is permanent. And a lot of times you have to learn to perform without motivation. You have to learn to perform without purpose. You have to learn to perform a lot of different things. And that's what people think. They think I need to have this motivation to work out, to study, to be better. So if they don't have it, they just don't fucking do it. And that's where you fail.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it.
Everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what real beasts do. Everybody gets excited. E.T., the guru story, but nobody wants to get up at 3 o'clock.
Even on Sundays, you got to put in the work, whatever it is you got to do. So I am an evangelist on a little bit of Sunday work always helps. It's good to unplug, and it's good to recalibrate, but sometimes that Sunday work is a special day because not a lot of people are putting it in. So again, it's that quiet work you do away from everybody else that really makes a difference in terms of your success.
We don't teach money at school. I said, why not? And she couldn't answer me. And she got very flustered. She said, sit down, take your seat. And then I got curious. I said, why don't we learn about money? She says, go ask your father. He's my boss. My father was the head of education, PhD, all that stuff. I go home and ask him, said, why don't we learn about money in school? And he looked at me and said, because the government doesn't let us teach that subject. The government tells us what we can teach and what we can't teach. And I thought that was strange. And I said, but aren't we going to school to learn about money? He says, no, your job is to get a job. I said, but you get a job to earn money. He goes, no, you're supposed to just get a job. I went, no. Isn't the purpose of a job to earn money? He goes, you're correct. I said, so why don't I just learn?
You had that third failure in a row. Did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never. I don't ever give up.
You are known for your terrible haircut, and now I can see why. Your hair sucks. You look like Justin Bieber caught on fire.
What's the difference between a wet raccoon and Donald J. Trump's hair? A wet raccoon doesn't have $7 billion fucking in the bank.